The song that I've chosen for my final project is very special to me. During my time studying at Liberty for my bachelor's degree, I'd always look forward to singing this at the annual night of worship, and it made it difficult for me to complain about feeling tired from all of the rehearsals leading up to the performance, just because of how much this song spoke to me. Very few songs evoked my heart for worship like this song did, and I don't think it's because of the lyrics, because they're not all that special compared to other songs of this genre and worship songs in general. But I feel that the way that it was conducted and how much soul and spirit was poured into each performance is really what would touch me every year and keep me looking forward to it. The song that I've chosen is Total Praise. It's a gospel song by Richard Smallwood, and it would always be conducted by Dr. Whaley, starting with LU Praise alone with the orchestra, and then at the end of the song, after the crowd finished with their applause, then the choir, which is where I would be, would join in for a reprisal of the chorus to the ending for the big conclusion of the night. I feel as a conductor that this song really relies on bringing out the dynamics of the group. It's not necessarily all that difficult because it's not very polyphonic or anything like that, but there's a lot that has to be brought out of yourself and poured into the group then to express the music. And I feel that's something that I've struggled with as a conductor since I've started. And I've been very stiff in a lot of what I've done and need to try to loosen up a little bit and communicate the music, which is what this course has really been about. I feel that in the reprisal, there's a tricky part where there's some offbeat orchestral stabs after the first line of the chorus that can really throw you off, and the choir stays same rhythm as the other choruses. It's just the dropout of the orchestra with the offbeat stabs can really mix you up. And then at the very end, following the final layering of the amens over each other from voice to voice, then the ladies' voices are suspended, which is not in the original arrangement, I believe, and it's held. And every single year I'd remember how silent the entire sanctuary would be, and all you'd hear was the ladies' voices holding that note, and then everyone would come in for the big finish. I think I'm just a sucker for that ending. I'm going to be using the recording of LU Praise for this. I don't know how old this recording is or how recent it is. There's a chance that I'm in the choir. I don't know. But I hope you enjoy it, and this is Total Praise. are at the end, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Mahler, for your constructive criticism and encouragement during this course. It's helped me see the issues that I have with my own conducting as well as find my way during these 8 weeks. So my own personal growth, I'd say that a lot of this course has really taught me that as a conductor you need to connect to the music, and you have to find a love for it in a way that is very similar to an instrumentalist or a singer, that really you can't be lazy when they're doing this. They have to get into it, and especially a conductor, because then you are responsible for an entire ensemble that must follow suit and also get into it. So if you're just being lazy, then how on earth are they supposed to actually feel it? And I feel this is something that I struggle with, and any musician would really struggle with, not just as a conductor but a performer, is sometimes just going by the motions. So one of the things that I realized while doing this is that conducting is a very personal experience, that it's more or less there's no wrong way to conduct, but you obviously can get better at it, and that really compares to my personal expertise in jazz and improvising, because there's not really a wrong way to improvise, but there's certainly better improvisers and bad ones too, but neither side of it is really wrong. And that's why you have to find your own way as a conductor and really let yourself dive into the music and feel it, and then express yourself, and that will help your ensemble express it. Technique-wise, the first and foremost is to try not to be so rigid and frozen up, and to just loosen and enjoy myself, enjoy the music, and just lead, and not be so sharp, and especially in the mellow songs, like when I was doing it as well. Second of all, finally put down the baton. I don't know what it was when I did the second conducting. I tried multiple times to conduct without the baton, and for some stupid reason I kept making dumb mistakes, and so for this final one, finally put it down, and I don't know what was really wrong with me, but it definitely freed up my ability to get into it a little bit better. And then the last thing for my technique is to try to be a little bit more precise, use motions that don't take up as much time or space, so that it's much clearer at the exact moment that I'm cueing, especially for cutoffs. I started to realize that some of my cutoffs were just approximate and didn't really give off a very clear snap for a moment, or they were so quick that an ensemble isn't really going to catch it, and it's just going to pass them by without them all going off at once. I think that's still something I really need to work on, but at least I'm a little more conscientious of it now, and can continue to be aware of that in the future. As far as listening skills, though, I've noticed that when I'm listening to music now, I'm really thinking in conducting, and I'm thinking of how I would conduct it, hearing it, the problematic parts, what style it was, and just feeling it out. And I do a lot of driving for my job, so that means I listen to a lot of music, and a lot of the time I'll conduct a little bit when I'm driving, and to get a bit of practice in. And then I look like a total weirdo when I'm running, because I listen to more driven music then, and to kind of add to it and to lose myself and not focus on the fact that I'm out of breath, I'll conduct when I'm doing that. And it's really made it that it's helped me to be more aware of the different voices that are happening in choral, but also other styles of music, so that I can be aware, even without a score, of how a song is going. And then I feel like that helped me to enjoy this more, and also to really dive into the styles that I enjoy, since I am more of a jazz musician, and choir isn't something I have really any access to right now, and that made it a very personal experience beyond just the assignments that we had here, even though those were the most challenging for me, and spoke to me most for my own sake. And lastly, for leadership, the very first thing that I noticed with the live conducting is the placement of singers, which shouldn't be so weird, but one of the problems that I had with conducting my friends is that they were all really sick, and none of them really felt like doing it, even though they were certainly willing. It's just they all had bad colds, and they were tired, so they when I started conducting, I noticed that they were a little too spread out and that people just weren't really paying attention. But as soon as I just asked for and apologized that they felt terrible and had them all come together and took it more seriously, that really made it easier to do the assignment, even though they're not necessarily all that experienced in this. And it made it much more clear when I was cueing and they weren't just going by the motions of singing it. The other thing that I felt I observed of myself as a leader is that I need to maintain not only a good attitude, but a great attitude. Usually I try to always be optimistic and happy, but I do tend to be very relaxed, and I feel in a rehearsal setting, especially in a large ensemble, they're going to take that relaxed feel as more of a don't really care, going by the motions, not getting into it, and just getting through it. And I don't want to be that kind of conductor, especially if I have the opportunity to actually conduct. So I have to focus on really smiling more and being a little more expressive, being not and keep things moving forward in a way that doesn't break any momentum, and which is something that I noticed in the live rehearsal assignment with when I went and visited a school, is that the conductor there never stopped moving. The rehearsal just kept going on pace quickly, and it was a very, very short class period, but it never stopped. She never lost their attention for one moment, even though they were middle schoolers, and we know how they can be, but she didn't lose them for a single second. And I feel like that's something that could very easily happen to me because I'm very relaxed and I don't like confrontation, is that and I even remember it back when I did the jazz ensemble, that sometimes it would take me a moment to really get people's attention and I could lose them easily. And that's something that I want to make sure that we continue on as a musician, conductor, anything really, that I want to be able to just keep things and keep people's attention so that I don't lose them and can really maximize the efficiency of a rehearsal. So that's everything that I feel that I've pulled together for this course. Thank you again. I really enjoyed this. I loved both of the conducting courses. They've taught me way more than I even expected them to, and I hope to see you around.